Good evening. We are live. Hello, everybody. How is everyone tonight? Let's see here. You're worried about being late and gay parallax. I didn't have a chance to pin the message yet, so who's not doing their job? A job well done says he went to the store for claws and he never came back. Yes. All right. So where are we? And who got first tonight? Justin Hancock got first. Remember, first is what matters. Yes, I had to go and run and grab. Needed some water for tonight. Leticia's crazy. You better have some proof. Yeah, I do. It's actually very, very revealing in her trial. It's a little creepy too. What else have we guys got going on here? Hello, Hacho. Hello, Jacob. Fox, yes. How are you doing? Who else is here? Woody, hello. Alpha, hello. Bye, Franz. Hello, Fire Pixie. Wow, everybody's here. So I hope you guys are all having a good weekend so far. Well, getting ready to have a good weekend so far. I know it is Good Friday tomorrow, so those of you who celebrate that and participate, I hope you have a very good Friday. Hope you have a good Holy Week. Happy Easter to everybody. Good news is, come Sunday, Jesus will be back. He is risen again. But yeah, hopefully you guys are having good weather. I know here it's been actually really nice the last 2 days. Oh, somebody's saying something. Oh. I need to switch the sound off to that. And I did want to mention one thing, and I didn't probably mention this before when we were going over the Trump indictment. But I just wanted to start it off. Oh, uncivil. Did I see that right? Kurt. Hey, hello, Kurt. How are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Always welcome to see you around. Always see a friend of the show. So thank you for stopping by, Kurt. Hope you're doing well, man. Says, yes, I see Leticia and it pulls in the mic. Would. Dudley's saying it was 92 in Alabama. Jeez. That is. Oof. Where are we at? Jim, you're asking about if the jurors are held in contempt. We'll talk about that. That's not exactly true, given the situation they're in, because the trial hasn't started yet. And even then, there are times where that's not necessarily a problem. CG is saying, I want to start a YouTube series and say, will it 45? And seeing a particular item will stop at 45. What's your legal risk? There really isn't too much of a legal risk. Certainly, people might not be happy if your product gets obliterated, if you obliterate their product, but that's, you're allowed to do that. So I don't think there's necessarily a particular risk. It's YouTube may not like you shooting stuff, but heck, there's that one guy, Edwin Sarkeesian, who shoots at like random things with a 20 millimeter. So I think he'll probably be okay. And then there's like Kentucky Ballistics. So no, I think you'd be fine with that. I know it's probably more of a joke, but if you shoot a 45 or the 45, that would be funny. What is it down here? Oh, it's a crying shame. Hello, Dirk. Hello. It's rainy in Texas. So that sucks. Even if a trial did start, it would be manifest necessity. It depends on the juror misconduct. Sometimes jurors get excused and the trial could keep going. It all depends on what happens. But I agree. Given what would have happened here, yes, definitely. But They're still in jury selection, so it's not entirely screwed up yet. Isaac Baruch's wholesome gabagool art for $2. Thank you so much. Says, going to watch Danny on. Sorry, she's slightly hotter. You know, hard to disagree. Hard to disagree. Jacob Castro saying, if the chat is 2 seconds, his father-in-law, Jim, is in the hospital. Heart issue and pneumonia. Well, that's not good. A little prayer would be appreciated. Certainly, certainly. Well, prayers go out to your father-in-law, and I hope, it sounds like you like him if you're bringing this up. Probably tougher guy, tough guy. He'll be all right. Just have faith. Over on Rumble in the Rumble ghetto. Do I got the commie coof? No, I got the commie runny nose. And Mitro is the sweeping up the easy first over there. Yes. So, all right, guys, we're only a couple more minutes. See who else shows up before we get started. Danny is Runkle's alt. No, see, I'm catching up to him though, because my hair eventually is just going to be like white and platinum looking in the light too. So, Jay Chrisman on Rumble saying, finally get to catch your live stream. Up in Canada, you're friends with Third Rail Fight. Oh, well, cool. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Wish I could make that show up. Although I just learned there's a guy on Rumble who actually, like, his name's Ian, and he shows you how to fix everything on your thing. Oh, do I snort Taco Bell? No. Okay, let's see. Oh, T-Bex is saying the Mayo Clinic says no more masks starting next week. Well, that's good news. Good news. We are going to get to this. We are going to get to this, RN. We're going to get to it. Okay. Let's see. What else we got here? I'm Charlie 18 saying I never had Taco Bell once in my life. I mean, you might be missing out a little bit. You might be missing out here. I'm just saying, unless you happen to have like Del Taco, which actually is really, really good, then you should get some Taco Bell. Try it. Jim, for 5 months being a member, Jim Satala, thank you so much. Yes, there's a pattern developing with true shooters. There's one today in Colorado. Yes, there was. Yes, almost like it's been planned. I mean, maybe like a conspiracy. I don't know. Also, I know some of you guys like to place bets on things and things that I make claims about. Put this pin in the, the cork board. The Russians are probably going to start blowing up Ukrainian tanks with Chinese-made javelins before the end of the month. Just a thought. Go on the farm till figure out why. Did I see Rebecca Jones in Florida today? Yeah, but here's the problem. Rebecca Jones is a fucking idiot. That woman is a complete retard. Not to mention she's got like a 35 head. I mean, I can't even make my forehead look like her head. I would literally have to shave off to like back here, this far back. And I'm like almost a full set of fingers away to have Rebecca Jones's head. And if you guys don't remember Rebecca Jones, she was the woman who claimed that she was told to juke the stats for coronavirus in favor of Governor DeSantis. And then it turned out she lied and she manipulated a database, had to plead guilty to it. So she actually has been convicted of a crime. And then she ran around today claiming that the governor went after her son when it turns out her son sent a bunch of text messages to friends like, I want to shoot up the school and I want to stab a bunch of people. And then she went around screaming, oh, they came and got him, when there's video of her walking the kid into the jail. But that said, though, that involves your kid. I'm really going to stay out of that one. The kid's got problems. Was the kid just being edgy? Maybe. Was the kid have problems? Maybe. Who knows? But that, I'm going to, he doesn't need to get drug into things just because his mom's an asshole. So. Taco Bell's meat-like product. Hey, it's not bad. It is not bad. Job well done says, yeah, I've seen the air freight runs over the last couple of days. Yeah, that is a if you watch the buildup of the British government's defense supplying to Ukraine right before the invasion, well, Russia had already invaded Ukraine, but once everything kicked off last year, this is the exact same pattern. A bunch of cargo flights, and they're dumping their transponders off when they land. Yeah, something's up. That's a shame saying I got a full scholarship for the National Criminal Defense Council. Hold on. NCDC TPI. The National Criminal Defense College Trial Practice Institute. Oh, that sounds actually pretty cool. Sounds very, very fun. But they're requiring proof you're fully vaxxed and boosted. That's kind of shitty. I mean, especially from the defense side. Really, that is. But very much congratulations to you. I hope you do it. And I'm not saying you can fake a card, but you could probably fake a card and they won't be able to know any better. Once again, I'm not advocating you as a fellow officer of the court do anything fraudulently, but it's like, between us girls, who's gonna know? Oh, hold on 1 second. All right. Where are we at now? Hold on. While you guys are just like chugging along here. What the business? Oh, there's a lot to business. Rumble, you guys are still surviving. Okay, you guys haven't gone crazy. All right. So I guess it's time to start. Where do we want to begin? Well, I guess we'll begin with Leticia Stauch. She is accused of murdering her son. And, well, her husband called her. And this is one of the exhibits played during the trial. And we're only going to listen to a couple minutes of it. But this is absolutely... I mean, this was rough to listen to. Just because this woman is so crazy. And that's part of the argument. She's doing insanity defense. But this whole thing is just... I feel for Dad. I feel for the dad very badly. He is... Thanks, Parallax. I needed that. Thank you so much for making me check that out. So he is talking to her, and obviously the phone call is being recorded, and it's to try to figure out what she knows and what's going on. I think we're not going to listen to the whole thing because it's like 30 minutes long, but listening to the first couple minutes, whew, it is it's not good. It's really bad for her. And we're going to listen to just a little bit of it using the great people over at Long Cuck. So here we go. And Gannon is their son, okay? And this is between her and her husband at the time, if she killed her 11-year-old son, okay? So here we go.
You told me to be straight.
I got you on the phone, and I'm trying to sit here and tell my own husband every little detail, everything. You think I don't want my family?
All right, Tisha, listen. Like I said the whole time, I'm just trying to help you and trying to keep you and Harley safe from all. I mean, these people are after me now. I don't know who the hell it is, but like I said, I had to go get my clothes changed and everything just so I could blend in better. And I want you to know that no matter what, no matter.
Just so you guys are aware, yes, I'm sorry, it was her stepson. She had told this story about how somebody had came into the home at gunpoint had tried to rape her and attack her, and that there were people hunting them down. So he doesn't believe it. He didn't really change his clothes to hide from this crazy person. He doesn't believe it, but he's, talking along with her he's agreeing with her to get her to talk.
No matter what, we can work through this together, and I can help you, okay? But you just got to let me help you. But I have you told me to be straight up. I got a very straight up question, okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Did you kill Gannon? I need to know. I need you to answer me yes or no right now.
I killed Gannon. The answer is no. I can't believe you asked me this.
I just got to know. You had told me to be straight up. I got to know what's happening to my son.
Tell me why you would think I killed Gannon.
There's a lot of unknowns. I mean, being straight up again, you changed your story again to me for the fourth time.
No, I changed my story.
You did. This is the fourth version of the same story, okay?
Wow.
Like half of what you told me today, with the cut foot, and now he's got burned arms and picking it, and his butt's bleeding. All this stuff is new to what you told me the other day. And the other day you told me you cleaned up the area where you got raped so nobody would see it. But now you told me you just changed clothes. I just don't know what the hell's going on.
I didn't tell you. First off, you never even listened to me about anything that went on.
I did. No, you stopped because I listened to you. I listened to you, and then I went and got the guns and put them in the truck, and then I came back and me and Landon listened to you, and then I stopped and picked your story apart. So get it straight, Tisha. I listened to you, and I said, if I'm wrong about the rape, I will get on my knees and beg you for forgiveness. Did I not say that?
Yeah, but you haven't.
Exactly, because I haven't been proven wrong yet. I want the truth. If I'm wrong, if the police, no matter what they're doing, the FBI, the CBI, the CBS, whoever, okay, if they tell me I'm wrong, I will publicly, in front of the world, get on a camera and tell you I'm sorry. But until that happens, we're going to find the truth.
How can you tell me that someone didn't I don't understand. How can you tell me that someone didn't do something to hurt me and take Gannon?
I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you it hasn't been proven one way or the other. You said you banged your head on the freaking table. Now I got to tell them to go check out the table. And see if there's any blood or any of your...
You knew that. They had already asked that.
Okay, but that's the first I heard of it. You see what I'm saying?
You never would talk to me. You literally just sat here in a conversation and asked me, did I kill our child?
Yes, I did, because if you say no, then I'll stop thinking that you did it. Okay?
That's horrible.
I don't know what to think. My son's blood, you're telling me his blood's all over the walls, and now you're telling me the Mexican guy that had the gun to your head or whatever took him away, and he knows him, and he could be anywhere.
Hold on. Gun? So where did you get that piece from?
That was so now you got me twisting all your stories up, because that was from the first time you told me the rape story. He had a gun to your head, and you told me it was your gun. You told me, but you told me it was your gun, so that's fine. I'm not debating the points here. But
I said the black one.
Okay, fine, but I mean,
it's like she forgot the story she was telling him. Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
You know in your heart I would never hurt Gannon.
Yes, I absolutely believe that. But I'm doing everything I can to help you right now. But Tisha, listen. The thing is, if you don't, but it's not just. I asked you if you killed him. You said no, and I'm sorry. That was a hard question. But if you know anything, or you did anything, or just upset about it, we can work together, and I can help you. But I can't help you if you don't tell me anything. It's just there's so many unknowns, Tisha.
Oh my God.
I mean, did anything happen that was an accident that you're scared about?
Really?
I'm just trying to, Tisha, you know, with my Army training, I'm trained to ask all these questions to get us in a safe place, right? And that's why I took the guns out from the get-go. That's just my training kicking in.
Oh my God, I really thought, I thought out of this conversation, I really thought you were going to be supportive of me. I thought you were going to bring your family back together. And I thought that we were going to talk about everything every single day of nothing but Cannon.
Listen how manipulative she is. She thought, oh, I thought you were on my side. I thought you were a good guy. And yes, this is I thought it was just the police, but apparently it's the FBI, according to Vanessa. So yes. Yes. Yeah, she basically, her story is some like Mexican guy came in, pointed a gun at her, raped her, which she somehow magically cleaned up. And then there was blood everywhere, and he kidnapped the kid on top of it, which, once again, if you're listening, this makes no sense at all.
That's what I'm trying to do.
For a second, you were asking, did I kill Cannon? I can't believe that.
Well, I'm glad you said no. That gives me a lot of hope and peace.
I already told him about how maybe, just maybe, you might have a brother. Maybe. We talked about, we cried about Kobe. We did a lot together.
What?
What kid?
Okay.
Stop.
Okay, Tisha, let me ask you this way then. I don't believe you killed him, but did something bad happen to him and he maybe he is dead or not with us anymore and you just panicked and didn't know what to do? I mean, is there anything like that? Just any information is what I need. We can help you. I can help you get through this. But but we got to know the information about Bubba. I mean, just think of,
Really,
yes, I'm just trying to figure out what happened to him.
And it goes on like this for another 15 minutes, guys. It's actually really good. You can listen to Leticia kind of lose her mind. And yeah, just absolutely crazy. Crazy woman. And where is this? By front saying his testimony sounds the same too. It doesn't seem right at all. Yeah, he's sitting there with the police and FBI agents. They're trying to figure out if she'll admit what happened. He's probably going off of a script and reading things. So yeah, it doesn't sound 100% right because it's kind of being rehearsed and slightly coached. Because yes, she shoved the kid's body in a suitcase and dumped him in Florida, and they found him like 2 months later. So yeah. But listen to her scream. She screams so loud, she cancels out the sound that's being recorded, and it flattens out. Yeah, that's a shame. Yes, and that's the thing. Her story has so many pieces that there's so much she didn't tell everybody right away. She also tried to tell the story that the Mexican that kidnapped their kid was still in the house when the police showed up. There's just none of it works. None of it works, and I don't know if the jury's going to buy that she's crazy. So time will tell, but the case is raging on at this point. So, yeah, near the Panhandle in Pensacola. Alligan News says, how did her defense allow this in? Because it's her own statements. Your own words, that's not hearsay. That is a statement. I mean, that's an admission for it's her own words. They are allowed to use those against her because she can ultimately have the right to contest them. You're allowed to use that recorded statement. There's no problem with that at all. Catherine saying he screwed up and said, we can help you. Yeah, but she's so in her own mind, she didn't notice that. So, Harble Warble saying, yes, the crazy women with the suitcases. Yes. Yes, and I thought I saw somebody saying something about, yes, another suitcase murder. Yes, this kind of. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I think she's toast, but we'll see. I think that though is a very good look into how she's thinking and what she's, how her mind deals with things, because that is very much what you're looking at with her. But the phone calls also have a whole bunch of back and forth about her refusing to talk to the cops and trying to convince her to. How did her attorney let that part in? I'm not sure. And I didn't hear that part, but sometimes it's. I don't know. I don't know about that part, but yeah, I would be fighting that part where. But I mean, ultimately, it all depends. Probably the judge let it in. Unhung Hero for $2 says, "I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come." So yes, Bendover says, "Do not come." All right. The next thing I think we want to talk about, Young Thug, the rapper. I know he's the poet of all our hearts, content, is currently getting ready for a RICO trial. This RICO trial has not started. It's been ongoing. Parts of it have been dragging on forever. Actually, hold on. We got one from Jim here. He's saying, the father just doesn't sound right for someone whose son is dead or missing. He should be fighting back emotions and it's completely devoid of any. Jim, we all process it differently, and he probably already understands that his son is dead. But he's trying to get her to admit where he's at. I think that's probably part of it. It's, who knows? He also could be heavily medicated by this point. Very easily. So, anyways, yes, Young Thug is facing a RICO trial down in the South. I believe it's in Hotlanta. If you guys remember, this trial has already had funny parts in it. In one of the hearings, somebody was able to hack into the Zoom and played porn at full blast on the screens. This is also the one where a drug deal happened in the middle of the trial, or in the middle of the proceedings. This whole thing with Young Thug has been a bit of a train wreck. So it's been very funny. And they are in the process of jury selection. And that is, well, that's where we're having problems. The trial has not started yet, and this is apparently supposed to take, it looks like from the statements in the one article I read, possibly up to 6 months to try this case. That is Porcelain Thunder saying Rico, so he's a legit gangster. Yes. But they had jury selection issues, and two of them in particular. There were two separate jurors who were found in contempt by the judge. And I think it's very interesting what they did and then the judge's reactions to them. Because when you're held in contempt of court, the court has a lot of authority over you. If you're held in contempt, the judge can throw you in jail. He can fine you. He can do a lot of things to you. And you have very little recourse. Now, this is subject to, you can immediately, have the right to an appeal, and courts above it can look at it and either uphold it or overturn it. But this is one of the few powers a court has that really isn't checked at that level. Certainly the prosecutor can't stop anything from happening, and there's nobody really else involved. But the two jurors, and this is actually very funny how they went. One of them got a pretty bad punishment, and the other one got kind of an okay punishment. But we're going to watch what happened to both of them here. Where is...
What's on your mind or heart I need to know about?
And understand, I don't have all my chronology, so the questions I may ask, may be a little bit different than what probably should be asked at this point in time. But I'll ask her, does the court want me to swear in?
Yeah, we'll swear in. Madam, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the information you'll give me in the matter now in hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but truth, so help you God, so affirm?
Now, in contempt proceedings, you do have the right to counsel because you do face potentially being imprisoned. So you have the right to have counsel present. And if you ever get held in contempt, that's not a bad idea. So she's there with an attorney, and she's being sworn in.
Affirm?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down.
Your Honor, may I please refer to her as juror number 64?
You certainly may.
Or juror number
Now they're referring to her as juror number 64 for the record, so her identity is not disclosed to the world because she still retains that right to not have her name put out there like that. And I'm sure the court would prefer it that way.
64. You've heard the recitation from the court as to what occurred in this matter that causes you to be here today. Is there something that you would like to explain to the court as to why you didn't show and what were the circumstances surrounding your non-appearance?
Yes. First, like receiving the jury summons. I don't
Yeah,
think
speak up if you wouldn't mind.
actually just receiving the jury summons. I travel a lot. I've always traveled a lot globally for work and other things, but I traveled. I wasn't here Thanksgiving week, the week of the 28th. So, and I don't think I returned until like the 16th. I was in the UK. And because I live with my grandmother, I didn't go because I was exposed to travel, didn't want to make her sick. So I don't think I actually saw the summons until like the 30th. And
The 30th of December?
yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, from travel and just abstaining from the household to not make anyone
When did you
sick.
book your travel for the Dominican Republic?
So that was also a business trip from a partnership, and that travel was, I think it was booked like the 29th, but it's been on my calendar
Of
since
December?
the 1st. I didn't book it. The admin booked it for that particular.
Hold on a minute. Yeah, I have a document that may assist you.
So basically, she was given a summons. She claims she never got it, and because she does all kinds of travel, she never saw it. And there's going to be a little bit of BS here, but we're going to get to the good parts. And I think it's just interesting listening to her explain why she wasn't here. And she did show up. And the court's very pissed. And usually when you don't show up for jury duty, a lot of courts just put you back on the list and call you immediately for the next jury. But eventually you're going to have to come to the court and explain what's up.
Court with that information, if I could present that to the court.
Absolutely.
All right.
And that trip
Hold
wasn't
on
okay.
1 minute. And I'll hand these up to the court.
We'll talk
Are they
about that in a
part
second.
of court one that we gave you, Mr. Thomas?
I don't think that those are the booking information. I don't
Okay.
think the court gave me the clerk gave me the
Okay, that's fine.
book. Okay.
I'll mark it as, let's see. Well, this would be R1, respondents one, so. I'll mark, it's a 6-page document. It starts out with Gotcha's Breakfast Bar and goes on, and it has her booking information. I'll admit it for consideration as R1,
Yes, sir.
respondents one, and some of the information we do have already, Mr. Thomas, but I will include that, so I'll admit it.
All right, juror number 64, you can continue explaining to the court.
And that day, like I said, I received the jury summons really late, so and I didn't really fit any of those 4 options listed, so I came. And then at that day, when you said it, I asked when we were checking out, because it was a long day, I asked, was there any exception to the process? Because it was Wednesday, and the hardship thing was on Monday. So I asked, my trip started on Friday, and it was a business-related trip, and I asked, was there any exception? They said the best you could do was send an email with the details and explanation. And I also knew I had these medical appointments. I have 5 weeks of scheduled infusions for the next 5 weeks, starting the 20th upon my return. But they said send the email, and I did.
Holy shit, this lady is really, really busy. I mean, Jesus.
The first thing the next morning. I also called aggressively trying to get through. And that voicemail, I called it, I checked yesterday, it still says if you have an issue, send it with your jury summons, send an email and you will not be penalized or something. So I sent that. I didn't really know I was in violation until the sheriff showed up. And even then he said, will you come back, come down. So after I realized it was I had a warning, that it was basically because family members started calling me from seeing the news or reading the paper or whatever. And I called back then. I couldn't leave. I would have immediately returned, but I was on a boat and I had no way to get off. So
Ms. Hayes, let me.
I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. K to the Swiss for $5. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. As far as wearing masks, that I would bet at this point is more of a judge prerogative. So if the judge is demanding that, then they get to demand that. Harbor Warble says, look at that posture. This is down in Fulton County, Georgia. But once again, the court has the judge could say, I want everybody wearing a mask, and that's the judge's rules. This is courtroom. Charlie says, oh, not gonna... Oh, wait, where was that? I just missed it. Where was that? Hat, glasses, and beard, pick 2. The Hunchback of... Well, I'm going to rename it The Hunchback of Wardir. Oh, no. Jeez, that's a good one. But yeah, let's just...
Let me ask something. I mean, this is not your first jury service in Fulton County, is that correct?
No, and I've never, but it normally doesn't go like this. And I thought I was following directions.
And that's part of the challenge I think you're facing is that. Because I've read through the documentation that you provided that's fairly contained within courts. The court exhibit I just gave. What's that number, Christina?
Oh, real quick, Analytical T gifted 10 memberships. Thank you very much. I'm sure everybody who gets hit with one of those is going to be very appreciative, but thank you. Thank you very much.
Course 23. And then why didn't you just apply for a medical? I mean, a medical waiver. And if your health condition, you could have done that, and that would have earlier and gone ahead and not been in this particular position. But
because the jury summons said you had to do it 10 days before, I saw it really late.
so you're saying,
And here's the thing, guys. Don't wait till the last minute. If you find out you've got something, immediately get in front of it as soon as possible. This sort of thing. It sounds like she just kind of jerked around. Well, I got all this stuff booked. Okay, well, get in front of it. And like your family members, like if they're taking your mail, hey man, like it should be like her mom should have said, hey, you got a jury duty summons. Like, what was her mom doing? Saying, oh, that's nice. I'll put it with the, we can upgrade your car insurance. We've been reaching you about your extended warranty. Yeah, the jury duty notice is just trash like that. There's multiple levels of stupidity here and failure points. Granted, many of them are with her, but I think her mom is still responsible for some of this too, just a little bit.
when you had your, you didn't get your, because of your travel, that
you son of a bitch, internet. Or actually, this is YouTube causing this. Don't do this to me, YouTube.
Madam, what's on your mind or heart I need to know about?
I had to do it 10 days before. I saw it really late.
So you're saying that when you had your, you didn't get your, because of your travel, that your notice sat in your grandma's home, and then I'm just.
So I returned from the UK, I know, around the 17th. I had a doctor's appointment on the 20th. I didn't go home. I usually don't go home until 7 to 10 days if I've been exposed, because my grandmother's elderly and pandemic and all that good stuff. So I know I didn't see the summons till after Christmas. I didn't go home till after Christmas.
So you didn't go home, and so your grandma's, you didn't look at your mail until that point in time?
No, my mail was home. No.
Say again?
No, I didn't have my mail.
Okay.
Earlier from the clerk shows that I think the total amount of a trip.
Now, Allegan News, you brought up a point here. She's saying I did not get it. You can get mail before 10 days before. Yeah, here's the issue though, and I know you brought up another point. The jury summons isn't certified, so she can't prove when she got it. Yes, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. But here's the issue. She's kind of already alluding that she had it and that it sounds like very much she didn't do anything once she even found out about it. She kind of half-assed it and decided not to bring things up and just said, well, I didn't think any of these applied to me, and she just didn't show up. That's her problem. That's why she's in trouble. She didn't do anything about it. She just blew it off. That's why if you're not sure, always ask. And I was furiously calling, and I'm not, I bet there's going to be a little, what does furiously calling mean? And relentlessly calling. Like, were you really? So.
According to the document I have here, it was about $6,900.
Yes, I'm in possession of that the total cost of her,
All right, hold on one second. We got J-Rock for $5. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Says, cover Ethan Ralph, please. I'm reaching out for your extended warranty. It's hard to cover Ralph just because it's so radioactive, and I don't need A-logs crawling up my butt. Isaac Baruch's Wholesome Gabagolar for $2. Thank you for the super chat saying, Godney's on too. Sorry, man. I'll catch the replay. Thank you for sticking around. I'll see you around, Isaac. Claude saying, I cut her some slack. Well, just stick around. We're getting through it.
Madam, when did you send in this documentation? Did you send it in
The
prior?
same day that immediately when I came if it was Wednesday, I did it left here late Wednesday. I did it first thing
I'm
Thursday
sorry,
morning.
you're
On the 5th.
Are you referring to the email? You're asking her about the email that she sent?
I'm asking her about when she sent her itinerary to jury services.
Immediately the next day, the 5th.
Okay, then why not send it earlier? I mean, if that were the case, I mean, you obviously saw this is probably going to be a problem. So why not send it to jury services and put us on the ready even before, because on the 4th, theoretically, I mean, we do excuse people that have travel that is booked prior to their jury summons. So I don't know if you'd fall in that particular category, but we do take a look at that. I mean, if you've got pre-planned travel that clearly was booked prior to your jury summons, that is something that we can consider. But
yeah, honestly, Your Honor, I have my mail was stacked. I did.
I'm sorry, you have to speak up.
I said, honestly, Your Honor, my mail was stacked. I went through and I saw it said you had to do it within 10 days, I believe it said. So my thought was just to show up, to not be, and every move I've made is to not be negligent of.
Notice how the story's changing again. Well, I saw it and it said 10 days, and I just thought I'd show up in court and do it. Once again, this just keeps changing up on her.
The jury summons. So I showed up, but I didn't receive that summons, I know, until like the 30th or something like that.
Did you also make calls to jury management?
Yes. Even when I was here that day and realized, when I first saw it, they said you still have to wait to the end of the day, go through the process with who you did. And as the day got longer, the process was changing. When I was leaving that day, they said the best thing you can do is just send an email. So if I saw it on the 30th, I would have sent the email. It still would have been getting to you like on the 2nd or 3rd when it was time for me to show up.
Madam, anything else?
Well, yeah, and I'm thinking that the court mentioned December 30th. That would have been a Saturday also, because New Year's was on the 31st. I mean, New Year's was on Sunday, I believe, this year. So the 30th.
So I want to get to this point. One of you guys here is saying, Allegan, you're bringing up a good point. Why didn't her lawyer tell her to shut up? Because you just saying nothing, then you're going to get, the judge is going to toast you. You have to talk. She has to. You not talking ends the game. So you've got to talk. When you're held in contempt, You're being called to the carpet. You're being called out. Shutting your mouth is not a viable solution. I can tell you that much. J-Rock for $2 saying, come on. I mean, maybe at some point, but he really hasn't committed crimes yet. But if he commits more, we'll talk about him. Samuel Williams, the founding father, for $9.99. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. Says, can I borrow $10 now, or are you still tapped out? Well, I can let you borrow $9.99. Just saying. Also, did where? So Harbor Warble saying, can she just say I believe in jury nullification? No, at this point it's too late. You've done pissed off the court. You say that, he's gonna put you in jail. You're too late. It is too late now. It is too late now. And T Kings, you're saying, I think the lady's excuse is BS, but I don't think jury duty is a jailable offense. It's not jury duty that she's being, risking jail time for. It's the fact she's being held in contempt of court. That she has held this court in contempt. She has defied its authority, and the court has to be able to control and govern how it operates. And this woman is causing problems. So they have the right to sanction you if you don't adhere to the decorum and respect the court is afforded as an institution that we, try to give some deference to. So we're going to finish this up, but I just want to address those real quick.
Would have been Friday. I believe it would have been Friday. So.
Oh, come on, you son of a bitch.
I think she made good faith efforts, but I'll also indicate, I don't know how relevant that might be, not knowing all of your procedures, just getting involved in this matter, is that when I was outside this morning, outside your courtroom, I heard your jury management people out there telling people as they come up that the jury management voicemail or whatever it is that people call into changes every day. The message changes. Now, I don't know how that affects people's requests. I don't know how relevant that might be to the court.
It's not really relevant. But I'll tell you, and I'll fill you in on that, Mr. Thomas. That particular is relevant for people who are assessing when they're supposed to report. So Ms. Von Kelsch tells that letter instructs them saying, hey, call after 5 o'clock. And then your juror number tells you, the message will tell, hey, jurors, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm just making that up. You need to report X date and time in courtroom 1C or 1D. That's what it does. It does change daily, but we told the jurors reporting on the 4th, 5th, and 6th that they need to call that particular number. Now, I gave them also in-court notice when we were, so I told them that, I told your client she would need to appear back on the 9th. So I did give in-court notice, and then Ms. Von Kelsch changes the message so that particular grouping. So for example,
we're going to speed this up just a hair.
With all the hardships at this point in time. So those particular individuals are calling that juror services number nightly to find out when they're going to have to come back to be examined. So that's how it changes.
Numbers.
One on the website and one in the letter?
Yes, Your Honor. So there are 2 numbers. One is a general jury service line for regular jurors, and grand jurors, and then there is another line for those participants.
And Your Honor, that's what the court is. The court was giving a recitation of how things occurred on the enforcement of jury management. Is there in fact a message? And of course I have to ask because I don't know. Is there in fact a message that tells a potential juror that if they send in certain documents attached with whatever request they're making, they won't be penalized? Because that could be misleading.
No, I don't believe that.
No, it just tells.
Now they're trying to make their, see, this is the problem with the attorney. He should have had this information ready to go, because asking it now, dude, you're not going to find your smoking gun for your client here to get out of trouble.
When to report.
Did you hear something about according to her, she said that's something that on that voicemail that says if you do whatever you've been told to do, you won't be penalized.
I just realized this moment there's 2 numbers because I don't know what I did with the letter actually.
I
I don't know what I did with the letter actually because I was tired today and I started responding to you guys the next morning. So I went back to that initial jury page. That's the number I've been calling. That's the number I got through on yesterday. So I just had an aha moment that there are 2 numbers.
Anything else you want to tell me about, Mr. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Jury number 64. The reason I went through that whole admonition to all of your group at the very end of the day is because, and you may have heard me talk at the very beginning about the importance of jury service. We have a lot of people that we ask to serve. It doesn't make a difference what vocation or avocation you belong or you have. It is that important. It mirrors or is right up against that right, your right to vote. So when we take this very seriously in order to get a lawful and fair and a just jury as to both sides. So there are a lot of people that were inconvenienced. I mean, severely inconvenienced. You're not the only person that outlaid money. I examined people yesterday who lost literally hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to be here, and I had to make decisions in regards to that. But I didn't get a chance to examine you about your circumstance because you went to, you decided, you said, okay, I'm going to go, and you didn't afford me the opportunity to do that. Now, certainly, I understand you can't be in two places at one time. So, ordinarily, madam, I do find you in contempt, but here's what I'm going to do. Contempt is punishable usually by a fine of $1,000 and or 20 days in jail. I am not going to fine you. I'm going to, well, first, madam, did you attend college?
Yes.
You have a 4-year degree?
Yes.
Say again?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. What I think I'm going to do is, in order for you to satisfy your contempt, I'm going to commute the 20 days and require you to write a 30-page paper on the importance of jury service. Here's the criteria. You'll have to do APA style. You're going to have to use at least 10 primary sources, 10 secondary sources.
Okay, I'm disappointed in this judge making it right APA style. If you're going to cite things, the Chicago School citation is the way to go. Footnotes are your friend. And if you want to be real fancy, Turabian style.
You'll talk in a minimum, and I'll write this in the order.
Oh, okay.
You'll have an order. You'll have it before you leave here today. You're gonna write at a minimum, the history of jury service, who could not serve on a jury, because that's very important, because years ago, people that look like us couldn't serve on juries. It was prohibited. I want you to talk about jury service in Georgia and discrimination at a minimum, those 4 things, okay? And you can talk about anything else you want to in that regard. I am going to give you a date 3 weeks hence that paper needs to be submitted to me electronically. And we're going to run it through a plagiarism checker. You got to write it yourself.
There's no plagiarism checker. It's Google.
And then you're going to come back and talk to me about it. I think that would be fair under the circumstances, because this is that important. I have to account for all of you who summoned, and I'm still looking for folks that it didn't appear. So I'm not picking on you. I'm sorry that you got a little bit of a attention in this respect, but the attention is how serious we view this whole aspect of jury service and participation in the process, so we can get a fair juror and a lawful trial.
So she just got BTFO'd. 30-page paper. Now, that is something the judge can do. He has that right. He can punish you with fines. He can punish you with jail time. He can make you sit out in front of the jail or the courthouse saying, I'm a dumbass who didn't get my jail stuff sorted, my jury stuff sorted out. Whatever he wants to do. So they have every right to do that. Yes, your friend Mort saying she defied it by not. Yes, a jury summons is a court order to appear. You've defied the court's orders. Why did you defy the court orders? That's a serious thing. If everybody can defy the court's orders, then nobody shows up for court. It's no different than a warrant. It's no different than a summons. No different than a subpoena. If you are commanded to appear, you must appear. That's how it goes. Let's see. Where is... So she's not on the jury at this time. Yeah, it's just not responding to this. It's just not responding to the jury summons. J-Rock for $2 saying, I love y'all that support Sean. Thank you. Sure, everybody else appreciated that too. Okay. Where is... Yeah, she could have faced 20 days in jail, but she didn't. Hold on, a couple of you guys are saying, where is this here? P.S. saying it'd take me 20 days to write a 30-page paper. Oh, yeah. Sunshine saying, just send me to jail. Well, if she doesn't do that, yes, she's going to jail. Brit Brett saying, Are we in fucking high school? No. But you're gonna act like a dumbass and you're just gonna blow everything off and like, well, I kind of try, because it's clear she didn't really try. And she didn't really tell anybody. She kind of half-assed it. And she kind of was looking at her mail, but she couldn't read her. She just didn't want to go, and she thought she could blow it off. Let's be real. That's what she was trying to do, and it didn't work out. So, yeah, the court can punish you in ways it sees fit, and this is partially a penalty to make an example of people, meaning she's standing up for that, and people are going to look around and say, oh, this judge ain't fucking around. If I get a summons, I better show up. So there is some reason behind this stuff. William Foley says, I'd pay the fine. You can't pay the fine. There is no fine to pay. The judge is not fining you. You must comply with the order of the court. There's no fine you can pay. You can't show up at the $1,000 on the date due and say, here, this instead, because that's not what you're ordered to do. That's it. So they're saying you use Chat GPT. Yeah, maybe. But like, even back in the day when I was in college, like, oh, we have plagiarism software. No, you don't. You take parts of it and Google it, and put it into Google, and it'll find it. Or you go on a JSTOR and Google it, you'll find it. T King says, imagine that a warrant is out on you because you miss a jury summons. Well, there wasn't a warrant out because she missed a jury summons. She didn't appear, so the court summoned her again and said, you really need to come back. We need to talk about this. So it wasn't a warrant yet, but this idea that she didn't have her mail, I think, is a bullshit story. James PFP says, write that paper on the back of the bus. Yeah, that would be me as a kid. Writing the paper on the way to school. Oh. Joe Schmo says the Chicago style's for cucks. I might ban you for that, dude. That is. Yeah. Othimer for $10. Thank you very much. Saying, Jesus, Sean, what the hell? MLA is the way to go, if anything. All right. We're you troglodytes. You uneducated peasants. No, it is not the right way. There's only one true way to citations. And if I have to be your brother in Christ to show you that, then by God, I'm going to do it. The Chicago Manual of Style. Chicago Uber Alles. And if you're really hot, you like Kate Turabian as your prophet because her style is even better. But this is how players play and pimps pimp and hustlers really hustle. The Chicago style of citation. Not the MLA, the APA, the ADA, whatever A you want to put in there. It's all garbage. Even legal citations are garbage. This is the way. This is the light. You guys need to get right with God. That's all I'm trying to say. Y'all need some Jesus. So, yes, Debbie, writing papers is gay. Yes, it is. $30 pages. Oh, come on, guys. It's not that bad. 30 pages double spaced. You write 15 pages single spaced, and then when you're done, you go double space. Bam. I can't be the only one who did that in school. Yes, Alpha Fox, you're right. You asked ChatGPT to pass the plagiarism checkers, which I wonder if it could do it. That would be interesting. J Rock for $5 saying, Sean, I can get an interview with you shortly. I can make it for our while. Make it worth our while. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if Ralph really wants to talk to me. Samuel Williams, the founding father, for $4.99. Thank you, is saying, I chat GPT that paper. Yeah, but you have to be careful because sometimes it gets very basic and watered down. Yes. Do you hear a dog barking? Yes. You hear a very obnoxious dog barking right now because I think he wants to play with a little dog who doesn't want to play. So, what kind of dog? He is a Labrador and Pit mix of some sort. He's a good boy, the goodest of boys. But yes, he's barking through a closed door. That's how he is. The real Hydro PX says that cut deep. Hey, the truest knives cut the deepest. MLA for life. Oh God. I'm a man living among the Philistines. Oh God, you guys are horrible. Jonathan saying Chicago styles when they mugshot it and shoot it 10 times. No. You guys really need to. Chicago's the way to go. It's the way to go. It's the best. All right. So you guys are just awful. That's a shame. Said I would love that assignment. Of course you would. But if you were in trouble, you wouldn't get that. You'd be thrown in jail. Allegan saying the judge forcing speech is the problem. He's not compelling speech. He's, loving 2 times. I mean, is he kind of compelling speech? I mean, he's making that person respond to an order of the court, and instead of incarcerating the person, depriving of liberty, he's making them do research. I mean, you might be able to argue it's a compelling speech, and if you really want to appeal, 30 pages is long, but a lot of times the courts are going to defer to his inherent authority on the bench. I mean, I was thinking more like a 10-page paper would be fair. 30 pages is a lot to do as an adult. Love in 2 times says, can you interview Afroman? I've reached out to his people, and I've been trying to reach out again and again, but I haven't heard back from him. So if you guys happen to have an in or two, don't be afraid to throw my name out there. I'd appreciate it. So there was another juror that got in trouble. And this one's far shorter, and she's also a bigger idiot, and it's far more hilarious to listen to. And this one is very much clearly, you should never do this, and you're going to know right away what you should never, ever do. So this one is even funnier.
All right, Juror 1004, good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Madam, just to recap, you were summoned as a juror on the 17th of March of this year to begin the jury selection process. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And during that particular process, do you recall, and let me back up just a second, because of conduct that occurred or alleged conduct that occurred on the 17th of March, you were served with a order to show cause. That was filed on the 20th of March of this year to appear on this date, the 3rd of April at 10 o'clock in Courtroom 1C. You received a copy of that notice, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
All right. And that notice also gave you sufficient notice that as to why you should not be held in willful contempt for violating the court's admonitions against improper jury behavior, specifically live streaming the jury selection process on Friday, March the 17th of 2023. Do you recall that? I'm going to include that as a copy of the next court exhibit in order. That's your notice that we gave you. So you are at this point in time, why shouldn't I hold you in willful contempt?
Okay, so I'm gonna
So she got in trouble for recording video in court on her cell phone. I mean, just so you guys understand, you cannot do that. Do not do that. Even if you think you're going to get away with it, don't try it. You're going to get caught. Now, this one's interesting because she doesn't have an attorney, but she was probably, when she was given her summons, it says you have the right to have counsel present or request counsel to be appointed. And it sounds like she probably skipped all that. Not a good idea. Always have counsel. If you can't afford it, have it appointed.
explain what everything that happened that day on the 17th of March.
Okay, but before then, do you recall this court giving you the ad nauseum admonitions about acceptable behavior?
About having phones out.
Yes.
At the moment when we came in,
Didn't I tell you to turn your phone off?
it was, I'm gonna be truthfully and very honest. When it was a lot going on, we had just come from different
Answer my
floors.
question first, and then you can explain it. Do you recall us telling you to turn off your cell phones?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you also recall me going through a litany of different things that would cause us to potentially put the case in jeopardy. Do you remember me saying that to you?
I mean, I couldn't hear. It was so much people. It was so many people talking and so many people doing different things. So
people were talking when I was giving that admonition to you?
yes.
Meaning that you didn't hear it? You didn't
Yes.
hear any of the 10 minutes that I went through on the record about the things you couldn't do? Specifically, you couldn't research on Google. You couldn't go ahead and otherwise contact your friends on social media. Do you remember that?
Well, I remember the part when you saying we had to.
I remember when you said it before, but I didn't know that still kept applying because you didn't say it again. That's not a good answer, by the way. She's not doing good right now. And to be fair, an attorney really probably wouldn't help her too much at this point.
But I didn't hear the turn off the phone. until the
Remember
middle
me
of the
talking
speech.
about no social media?
Yes.
Do you remember me also pointing to the placards that are on the wall about social media and the things you cannot do?
And I didn't see that until after the fact.
You don't recall me pointing that out to you?
No, sir.
Okay, so he's got signs on the walls. It's like preschool for some of these jurors. Don't do social media. Well, I didn't know I couldn't do that. I'm sure he told them multiple times.
But you were, in fact, told to, one, put away your phones, and two, that you could not otherwise, you do remember, you couldn't otherwise post, pin, tweet, or otherwise
And I didn't.
send anything to social media.
Correct. I didn't.
But you did live stream our proceedings, didn't you?
It wasn't live streamed at all.
So what exactly did you do then?
Okay, so when you was giving the speech, everybody was talking. I did take a video, and
So I didn't do exactly what you said, but I did take a video.
then the young lady next to me did take a video, and then the young lady next to me, she was like, "Man, we're not supposed to be recording." Soon as they said that, I deleted everything right then and there. Maybe an hour went by. That's when the officer came up to me and said,
What? And here's the thing. This is where I'm a little confused. What the hell made you think that was a good idea to start with? Just to record that. What made you think that was a good idea? Pull out your phone and just go, well, this sounds like fun. Oh yeah, woo! Like, what made you think that was a good idea? Given you were told don't fuck with this thing, but you're gonna go ahead and fuck with it. Dumb fuck. Dumb fuck.
somebody had told us that you may be recording. So I showed them the phone. They went through my recent deleted photos and seen the video that I made, but it was already deleted because the young lady next to me had told me that you did say we wasn't supposed to be doing any of that. And this is my first time. That was my first time ever being in court in my whole entire life. So I wasn't really sure of anything we couldn't and could not do. So I do apologize for that.
Madam, I went through a very long and arduous process of telling people what they could not do.
Correct.
And you violated that. And you put this trial in jeopardy because of doing that, because of your actions of that. And I told you that the reason that we put such a big emphasis on this is because people actually do this kind of stuff. They go ahead and they take pictures. They go ahead and visit the scene. They go ahead and talk to their friends on social media. They talk about and try and learn things about the case that they're not supposed to. Aren't presented in the four walls of this courtroom.
Yeah, it wasn't posted on social media or any type of.
Well, I know that, but I told you.
You didn't post it yet. Yet. I mean, that's the thing. Why'd you take the video? You were going to do something with that video. Like, we're not retarded. We know you were going to do something with that video. Like, come on now. What were you going to do with it? What, you're just going to keep it on your phone and show all your friends? Like, hey, check this out. No, you were going to post it and you were going to screw with it. Come on now. Come on now. The judge is not retarded. You are not going to fool him. Just, you can't do that. Can't do that. Your friend Mort says, I'm surprised courts don't make you put your phones in those black bags when you come in. There are courts that make you do that. There are courts that they have these like little Mylar bags that you take your phone and boop. You take your phone and put it inside the bag, and the bag is sealed with a magnet, and the person who has access to that magnet is the bailiff. So at breaks, you walk up, as you walk out of the room, you're holding your little pouch with your phone in it. You keep the pouch the entire time. You walk up to the bailiff and rub your bag over the magnet, and it pops open. You can take your phone out. There are courts that do that. That's becoming more and more prevalent. So, yeah, she wanted to be a goblin. Yeah, she wanted it for a reason. Yeah, she was going to put on TikTok or Instagram or somewhere. Dark Lotus says, when dummies attempt to gaslight. Yes. Yes. Very true.
Told you don't even get on your phones and to not record anything.
And
I
didn't
told you
notice that into the middle of the court.
Well, the lady sitting behind you saw you going ahead and videotaping these particular proceedings, and that was in violation of this court's order. So contempt is punishable by a fine of $1,000 and or 20 days in jail. Madam, I think that given the amount of time and energy and effort and care we spent in making that particular pronouncement, and I tell it multiple times for multiple reasons, and you decide you're going to do what you want to do.
It's not
pull out your phone
doing what I wanted to do.
Well, you pulled out your phone and videotaped our proceedings, and that was in direct violation of this court's order. So I'm going to sentence you to 3 days of in jail, and that will otherwise satisfy your contempt. So
it's not going to be the payment? I thought you said.
No, I'm not going to fine you $1,000 because this court, I've given this same admonition a number of times, and there are varying reasons that we punish people in society. Okay, I'm just going to tell you the reasons are: one, just general is retribution, eye for an eye. The second reason that we punish people is for general deterrence. We don't want other people doing this kind of same thing. Third reason is specific deterrence. That means we don't want you doing this again. And then it's rehabilitation and reentry. So, ma'am, in this particular situation, unfortunately, I have told several people and made several iterations of this particular notice. And you videotaped our proceedings. It was just a brazen violation of these particular proceedings. I told you not to. Did you just left your purse in your pocket? You would have not even put yourself in this particular predicament.
Right, but there was so much going on.
That doesn't excuse your behavior. And doesn't give you.
I didn't hear everything.
Madam, that does not excuse your behavior, and it doesn't provide. It's an excuse for behavior, because there is no reason you couldn't have taken your phone and put it in your purse when we told you to do that, right?
Correct.
Instead, you took your purse out. You had to go through several manipulations to turn on the video feature for you to go ahead and videotape these proceedings. Is that right? It just didn't come on by itself, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's willful. That's you like saying to me, Judge, I don't care what you said about this kind of behavior, I'm gonna do what I want to do. So for that reason, that's why I'm gonna hold you in contempt for 3 days, and that will otherwise satisfy your contempt.
Bam, BTFO'd again. And that's the great point. Oh, there's so much going on. He told you repeatedly, do not do this. He said, do not touch your phone. Don't touch it. So what did she do? She opens up her purse. She starts touching her phone. She turns it on. Then she swipes it open. And then she gets to her phone, gets to the camera, turns on the camera, switches it to video, and starts filming. Yes, too much. Now, she did get jail time. She was in jail for 5 hours, and she got released. That's very typical on these types of situations when you piss off the court. You don't spend all that time. This is meant to make a statement, and now she learned her lesson. This also enforces everybody else is going to look around at that and say, oh my God, we better not fuck around anymore. Who is... Yeah. So somebody was saying, yes, there are multiple courts, though. There are some courts where you're not allowed to bring your phone in. They make you check it in. Now, being an attorney, the court has to do that. Guess who gets to bring their phone in? Because I'm doing important stuff. Now, usually when I'm sitting, if you see an attorney on their phone in court, they're playing Angry Birds. Maybe they're reading an email, but usually it's like Angry Birds or something stupid. Wait until they return. So some courts don't let you bring in phones, period. Some let you check them in. I think it's getting to the point, though, where they make you check your phones in. That becomes, I think, an issue that I've seen courts start to shy away from that. But I do see courts confiscate phones if they go off. So, and that a lot of that was not just for her, but that was for everybody else in the audience to understand he's not fucking around. So, yes. Justice Smith says 5 hours, a typical no spine judge. You know that girl, she's probably never been in jail and never had a problem. You realize that 5 hours in jail, she had to get booked. She's now 5 hours in, she's in clothes. She's in a jumpsuit. I'm sure she will not fuck around like that again. Because really, 3 days in jail, I mean, she could lose her job over that. You know, it could be ruined. You know, there is some rationality to not making her actually serve the full time. Because really, does that serve an interest? No. Let's say she loses her job, then her whole life goes off the tracks. Was that really fair for pulling out her camera? No. So you just have to, it's got to be proportional. Allegan is saying, yep, Judge, I got right. You do not get to take at the door. I'm waiting for the judge or court officer to go off like in Kenosha. Well, you do have rights, but your rights are not always absolute. There are time, place, and manner restrictions. Well, this is a time, place, and manner restriction. Marm says sending the Snapple chats from the bench. Oh, let's see here. Porcelain Thunder saying Candy Crush, no. Terry Dice says, unsubscribing. I watch your channel, and if you don't realize we are in our home and kids hear you, goodbye. All right, well, I'm sorry, Terry, that my apologies for that. So hopefully see you around at some point. Harville says I'm on Kiwi Farms. Maybe. Maybe I'm on Discord. Let's see. Where are we looking? Justice Smith says then he should have sentenced her to 1 day. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, he did it the way he did it. And Charlie 18's right. You know, 5 hours in, you're in the fart suit and you're hating it. Yeah. Like she's probably had like crap food at this point too. But he may have changed his mind. Maybe he was thinking about the 3 days, but then he sat there and thought, well, how is she doing? What has happened? Maybe sent the bailiff over and she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Who knows? Any number of reasons could have changed his mind. So I don't know. Janet Morgan for $10. Thank you, Janet. Saying, hey Sean, there's a guy with Down syndrome who's also a Latin King and has been charged with murder of 2 people in Chicago. How hard of a case will it be for the state of Illinois with the Down syndrome issue? It all depends on how much cognitive issues there are. Is he competent to stand trial? Because remember, just because a person may have Down syndrome does not mean they are incompetent. And remember, the idea of being incompetent in a legal setting is different when you're talking about a civil context, whether or not they can manage their own affairs, or in a criminal context, can they assist in a defense? And then further, if you're trying to argue insanity, it's did they suffer from a mental disease or defect, or were they unable to appreciate the wrongness of their actions? So just because you have Down syndrome doesn't absolve you. Now, if it's really bad and he suffers from a lot of cognitive issues, certainly that can become a problem. Or he might be fine. He understands right from wrong. He can talk to his attorneys. He can assist his own defense. It might not be that hard at all. It truly depends on the severity of his of what's ailing him. So it's possible. It could be a tough case, or it could be not really much different. So Zero Fuck saying, does that go on a record? Yeah, it goes on a record. That is on your criminal record. You did some jail time. So Allegan says, are courts supposed to be public? If yes, and the courts are not sealed, why does the court get to take your phone? Well, especially if your phone goes off in the middle of court, you're interrupting court. That's at some point the court has, decorum. And part of it is you don't interrupt the proceedings. Well, if your proceedings get interrupted because you have Freebird blasting as your ringtone, the court's allowed to enforce order. Well, it'll hold on to your phone. And usually what happens is, either like an hour from then or whenever your hearing's over, the court will say, here's your phone, and they give it back. Or sometimes you're fined instead. If you disrupt court, I'm going to fine you $25. And courts are allowed to do that. And I've been in courts where the judge says that, and guess what? Their phone rang, and they adhere to the rules too, that they don't have their phone. They give it to their bailiff, and their bailiff holds onto the phone. And, that's, obviously though, that judge, the one judge I was in front of did that. He always you got your phone back, but the bailiff had it set on his desk until, you ended up having your hearing if you were a defendant. Just because it's disrespectful. Make sure your phone's off. It's like being in a movie theater. It's an ass. You're an ass if you don't do that. Okay, let's. Jonathan saying, I mean, no offense, I wouldn't let my kids watch Sean. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, Terry thought Sean was Big Bird. More like Count. I'm like, the First Amendment. The Second Amendment. And I was saying Sean has a Jack Murphy beard. Almost. I'm far from that. Okay, Stabby says I forced my kids to watch about the alphabet agencies and the cops. Yeah. Oh, well, we're going to move on from that. That's all right. That's a shame saying diminished capacity is not a defense. Sure, but if he suffers from a cognitive impairment where he truly a cognitive defects that, I mean, at some point you're not competent to stand trial and that would be an issue. So yes, just having Down syndrome alone is not a free pass. if it was, then organized crime would be giving those guys jobs left and right. Let's see here. Trying to catch up with you guys all. Justin Hancock says Elmo doesn't talk to the cops. Yes, he doesn't. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, who actually? Oh, Jim had this earlier. How would the judge respond if the lady who had to submit her essay just submitted death sentences by Matthew Harris? That would be hilarious. I bet she would really go to jail at that point. I guarantee you she would have really been in trouble at that point. Harrietman says, "Oh, for $20. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it." Says, "I wouldn't have been dumb enough to use my phone in court, but if I'd been held in contempt, I would have paid the full fine and done 30 days. I wouldn't be able to prevent myself from having snarky responses." Well, remember, it's up to the judge. He can decide. He can make you pay the fine. He can make you go to jail. Either or. You don't have the right to choose. Now he might let you choose. Oh, I forgot to put up locals. I'm going to have to put that up right now. So it really all depends what the judge does. He might give you the options, or he might just say, "Nope, sorry, you're going to jail." Or he might say, "Well, you have to pay the fine." You might say, "Well, I can't afford it." Okay, then he might say jail's an option, or he might just make you make payments. I don't. There's a bunch. Like I said, judges have a lot of ways they can shape a sanction. So, that's normally not something you want to find out they do. But yes, Harriman, I guess I'd say like this. Yeah, everybody thinks they're going to be out there talking all kinds of shit to the judge, but I think it's oh gosh, who is it? I think it's Aristophanes, or actually whoever wrote Alcestis says, even the boldest seek to flee when death offers his hand. Everybody likes to think they're going to go up there and just drop bangers, but everybody shies away a little bit when it's their turn up in the batter's box. Just saying. Just saying. Wear a chicken costume every day for the rest of the trial. Just don't eat it for lunch. All right, James. Yes, he was a playwright. Okay. Trevor says, "Don't play ball in their court. Change the venue." You can't change the venue because that judge is the only one who has the authority to determine your contempt. The other judge doesn't have that. So, Bifrons is saying Euripides may have wrote Alcestis. Well, I'll have to check. I'll have to look that up. So, yeah, just be careful. Don't fuck around with courts, and courts are serious business. So in other news, and this is something, it makes you really wonder what's going on because I don't buy the story being presented. And actually, hold on here. We got a couple of. So the FBI basically burst into a random hotel room, handcuffed a guy, an innocent man, and held him in the shower for 45 minutes, interrogating him intensely. Which makes me think they did it in the shower. They were probably waterboarding this guy. And if you've never been waterboarded or had somebody try to do it to you where they take a towel, they put it over your face, and they put water over your face, and they pour water over it. It's an interesting experience, especially when your arms are restrained and you cannot move. Tried it once in college when I was in RTC. Some of us were messing around. Holy cow, it is terrifying. So the FBI in Boston, they barged into this guy's room in the middle of the night. They handcuffed him and threw him in the shower and interrogated him before they realized they entered the wrong room. Thank God it's in Boston, because if this had been a lot of other places, this guy could have defended himself with lethal force. Imagine how well that would have gone. These guys kick in your door after they knock on it, and then you turn on the lights and it's a bunch of feds. Like, whoo, that'd have been a little awkward. So this was part of a exercise between FBI and Department of Defense agents. Now, yes, the Department of Defense does have armed personnel who are not in the military. Makes you wonder what they're doing together. I mean, really? And why they're doing it at a hotel, a random hotel. I mean, don't they have bases where they can do this stuff? Yeah, get your noggin jogging a little bit, doesn't it? They didn't go to the correct room where a person who was role-playing, which, of course, the feds like a little role-playing, I bet. Yes. Interrogate me harder, Daddy. Ooh. It was a training exercise. So they banged down the door of a airlines pilot, which it also helps that he's a pilot because he doesn't carry a gun with him. And they demanded to be let in. And they pushed into the room and handcuffed him. Now, notice they have no right to do any of this stuff. They have no warrants. They have nothing. We thought it was someone else. I'm sure you did. They interrogated his man for nearly an hour, and they realized he was the wrong guy. Although you got to wonder, when the FBI is interrogating this guy, it's got to be funny, though, when they're interrogating him. He's like, tell us what we need to know. He's like, I don't know. I mean, some of those FBI just have to be thinking like, wow, this guy's really good. He's not giving us any information at all. He's just like keeping it 10 toes down. I wonder if I wonder at what point they realized he's not. Maybe there's like a safe word or a code word he didn't use in a challenge. But that whole time, that guy, I mean, that's the best. You can't break him because he knows nothing. Where was it here? Oh, Winter Soldier gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much. I'm sure everybody who gets one as well will be very appreciative. So, yes, this is an interesting situation. Yes, they were conducting, the FBI division of Boston and the Department of Defense were conducting an exercise to simulate a person might encounter in a deployed environment. Now, the FBI does go overseas at times, but why are we working with the DOD on this one? Why? And once again, why couldn't they do this on a base somewhere? Based on inaccurate information, they were mistakenly sent to the wrong room. And ultimately, thankfully, nobody was injured. Oh, I'm sure that guy got injured. I'm sure they didn't just come in and say, you know, sir, you're under arrest. Put your hands behind your back. I'm sure they treated him like he was a dude in Al-Qaeda or like an FSB agent. They probably bum rushed him, knocked him to the ground. And I'm sure if he tried to move, they'd beat him. Yes, the pilot refused medical attention, according to a police report. Yeah, I'm sure, but I'm sure he was not 100%. And yes, the pilot declined to comment, which is right. He talked to his employer, which is the right way to handle that. Although that's got to be funny, calling them the next morning and be like, listen, guys, listen, boss. Look, I got raided by the FBI last night, but like, I totally didn't do anything wrong. I was 100% innocent. You know, when you're calling them on the phone and that the next thing you hear is just click. You're like, hello. And your papers are in the mail. He's got to be the only guy in history to say, look, I got raided, but I was like totally legit. like that. Although it's funny, once again, the guy in DoorDash and the guy delivering a pizza gets it right every time, but yet the FBI can't do it right. Good job, police. True heroes protecting us. And the FBI said that they were working on this shocking case of mistaken identity. And I'm sure nobody's going to get fired, and it's just going to be heroes all around. Somebody probably gets a medal. Somebody will probably get promoted. Oh. Alpha Fox is saying, yeah, it's a hell of a way to set up a Fourth Amendment violation. Oh, we had an actor in a different room. Oh, I agree. I very much agree. I very much agree. Fred Sharp is saying, could the FBI have gotten a warrant for the actual suspect and used the innocent mistake defense? Yeah, the cops screw up all the time. Well, we served it on this place, but we thought it was here. I mean, they get away with using a warrant that turns out to be bad later on. I mean, there's US v. Leon. I mean, there's all kinds. Yes, the courts will go out of their way and bend over backwards to help out the police when it comes to warrants. Supreme Court hasn't seen a warrant they didn't like. Yeah, James is saying the safe word is not whistleblower. Jim is saying there was no warrant because it was a training exercise. This guy's going to get paid if he sues, and he should. Yes, he should sue. I mean, he was unlawfully detained by the government. But Jim, I think he was saying, could that idea of the warrant, could the cops use that as like an excuse, technically, if they're trying to do something? And I think that they would try. Don't put anything past the cops. They are conniving. Allegan says the budget doesn't allow to black site everybody. Yes. Dee Dee says the exercise for domestic terrorists, certainly possible. No injuries, but PTSD for the rest of his life, certainly. Nero saying you'd be surprised how many letter agents work with the DoD and military. Oh, I understand, but why are we doing it here at a hotel, like an actual hotel? Why did we have to do that? You couldn't do that on your own properties. Like they had to go on do this out in the real world, which that's where I have the problem. Yes, amateur, you're right. Did he refuse or did he refuse? We won't know. Dee Dee saying guarantee they didn't apologize. Oh, I'm sure they just left the room and were like, well, have a good night, sir. Don't tell anybody we were here. Yes, David, you're right. Boss, you're not going to believe this. Dee Dee saying, they deleted the video of it. Oh, sure they did. Sunshine saying the FAA is in bed with the FBI. Now, Sunshine, are you implying the FBI may try to strong arm and use the FAA to strong arm this innocent man from doing further action because the FAA could cripple his licensure ability to make a living by denying him the ability to be a pilot? That would be wholly unprofessional for the government to do that. They would never do such a thing. Never, ever, 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 ever. I mean, how dare you imply the government would be that corrupt? Oh. Porcelain Thunder says Amazon delivery gets it wrong almost every time. Not in my neighborhood. They're pretty good about it. Allegan News says DoorDash waterboarding. That would be funny. Jennifer is saying, sorry, but DoorDash gets it wrong too. Yeah, they do sometimes, but when DoorDash gets it wrong, nobody gets hurt. And armed men don't kick in my door and point a gun in my face. So Dallas saying 30-page essays from everyone. That's a shame. Says, The officers acted in good faith. Yes. They're going to use the John Coffey defense. We done try to be real good policeman, boss. Yes, sir, boss. We's good police folk. We done tries to do it right. Oh, Lord and me. Please have mercy on us. That's what police do when they screw up. They say, oh, sorry, we're idiots. Oops. Dom Man, and yeah, his employer's right. Yeah, there's a good chance his employer would lean on him that way. So, yes, and Lone Alaskan's right. The cops would never lie. They never do. If you can't trust a federal agent, who can you trust? So, Zaven is saying the diversity, equity, and inclusion at DOD means the person reading the door number was severely dyslexic. Yeah, very true. Oh. And before we move on, I'll read this last one here. No Mandate says, when a group of guys in sunglasses and jorts kick in your door, it's going to be a long night. Depends. It depends. If you're Ethan Ralph, that might be right up your alley. So, okay. All right. So what do we got? What else we got here? We got to move on to the next thing. And that is, well, YouTubing when it goes wrong. So that's the issue. Content creators, in particular pranksters, which if you've ever seen videos from some of these pranksters, they do really stupid crap. So what do we know here? Well, there was a YouTuber, Tanner Cook. He runs a channel where they do pranks. I know some of these pranks, and you guys have seen these on YouTube and TikTok before, where they screw with people who aren't just minding their own business. Sometimes it's simple as trying to like mac up on their woman or take their stuff or have sound effects play. There's one I've seen before where they've staged a child abduction where there's like a fake baby on a swing and a guy runs up and grabs it and jumps into a car and takes off. And everybody around it is terrified. And they think it's funny as a prank. There's a reason why these guys generally do these in California. Not only because of where they live, but also the likelihood of running into an armed individual who might stop them thinking they're a bad guy is extremely low. Because certainly in some of these other videos where they've gotten themselves to look like they're covered in blood and shambled at somebody like a zombie, even though I don't believe in zombies, a guy running at me covered in blood, screaming like a lunatic, well, yeah, yes, you know, Gaston Glock's beautiful invention may still make an appearance and might go a little blap, blap, blap at the end of the day to stop what I think is a lunatic coming after me. So here is a picture of Tanner on the left, and he got put in the ICU because this guy over here shot him. What we do know is that Tanner's channel is called Collective Goons, and they have 41,000 subs, which is more than me. But he and a friend who were both from out of state were at the mall on Sunday to record a prank when they dealt with Alan Coy, who shot Tanner. The public defenders say it was Tanner who was antagonizing the guy who shot him, much like in his other videos. And a lot of those videos, I've watched a couple of them, people get really pissed off and come after him because these guys do jerk people around really bad. So that said, the detectives, though, and this is where we're learning, we don't really know what happened yet, but this is where at the hearing about probable cause, the detectives say that Cook was playing the phrase on a phone, "I think you smell," using Google Translate. Okay. You know, Collie, who was there to pick up food for DoorDash, told Cook to get away several times and try to walk away. All right, well, fair enough. Guy's annoying you, leave him alone. But this becomes a bit of a problem here because we have a little bit of a, well, we have a little, we have a little bit of a problem. Real quick here, I saw Brandon for $5 saying, do you have any recommendations for a lawyer to do estate planning and maybe a gun trust east of Cleveland? I'm in the Chardon area. I can do that for you. Get in touch with me. I can help you figure that out. And I'll make sure I've got all my contact info down in the description. I'm not sure if it's right there. But yeah, I totally do that. Gun trust stuff, definitely I do. Haven't done one of those in a little while. People normally haven't been asking for those as of late. But yes, have one of those. I could certainly talk to you about it and see what you'd like to do and how you'd like to set one up. So just make sure you check down below, and I will make sure if you contact me at my email there, I will definitely be able to get in touch with you. So let me know. So this is where it becomes a problem, though, for the guy who shot the YouTuber. He swatted the phone away, and Tanner kept persisting with it. Okay. Well, here, remember, if you use deadly force, what was going on? Why did you do it? Well, this guy was at me with his phone acting like a retard. That's not going to cut it. It doesn't sound good. Yeah, it sounds like this guy pissed you off and just wouldn't leave it alone. Okay. And yeah, he was acting like a dick. Okay. Sure. But we aren't allowed to kill people for doing that. That's not how this works. At least not right now. So Cook was at least as close as 6 inches away when Colley pulled his gun out. I mean, that's really close. And yes, if Cook is, I bet on video, it's not flattering. I guarantee you on video, this is Cook is just harassing him, acting like an asshole of the highest order. I'm sure it's not pleasant to watch. And I'm sure he looks like, you know, if he got punched in the face and lost some teeth or got his jaw broken, I'd sit here and say, you know, I'd laugh at it. But shooting this guy, that's not gonna work. That's the rough part here. I mean, really for him is the tough part. I mean, Brandon saying, I emailed you like you did. Let me check let me check my emails for that, okay? I apologize if you did and I didn't see it. That's my fault. You know, Fred saying felony harassment. Well, what's felony harassment, Fred? Remember, to use deadly force, you've got to show you were in fear of your life or serious bodily injury. Even cops have to do that. So you have to use the proper amount of force. NL saying, I'd be a sympathetic juror. Sure, I'm betting a lot of people would, but the CBR says leave no witnesses. Yeah, you have to go hunt the cameraman down. Yes. Yes, remember, no Russian. But yes, his public defender asked for him to get bail. This guy has no other record, you know. But the issue was he shot an unarmed man inside the mall. That's ultimately what it comes down to. And this is not going to be good for that guy. I mean, this is when keeping it real goes wrong. And sure, he shot this guy, but it's like, you know, if you're going to shoot that person, you better be willing to go to prison for it. And I don't think Alan Colley was really willing to go to prison for it. He's going to find out the rough way. Even if that video shows Tanner acting like the biggest douchebag in the world. I mean, super douchezilla, Douchezilla times Mothra, like eating the Fukushima reactor, growing so big from the radiation, he's just like his own gravitational field of douchery. It's still not going to be justified. I mean, this guy's only hope is going to be to getting somebody on a jury who's sympathetic and is like, well, F him, he deserved it. But that's yeah. That said, though, he's charged with malicious wounding, the use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, and discharge of firearm in a building. Okay, that makes sense. Apparently, the Commonwealth's attorney, which is the prosecutor in that area, is looking at charging Cook and probably deserves that. Certainly. You know, the matter's still under investigation. Okay, well, of course it is. You know, and obviously Tanner's dad says, I support my son making a life for himself and trying to make a living. Yes, and you know, he doesn't have a mean bone in his body. He doesn't want to hurt anybody. That's where he was coming from. Did you ever teach your son, leave people the fuck alone, bro? Like, don't fuck with people because you don't know who you're fucking with? You know, be careful. Is he being outlandish to get attention and build an audience? Sure. Well, you should have warned him. Don't fuck around if you're not willing to find out. But he didn't. And now his kid found out. So. Yeah, yes, Fred, I understand there's a felony level of harassment, but that's still, you're not going to be able to make an arrest on that. It's not a violent crime. But you also, you know, remember, you have to have, the police have to use deadly force the right way. And also trying to do a citizen's arrest, I mentioned this before, is never a good idea. Absent you catch somebody committing a violent crime or stealing your car, there's really no other good times to get a citizen's arrest going. It's just going to end poorly. So. Trevor saying police shoot unarmed people all the time. He was reaching for the gun. There might be more to the story than we know. Because certainly the defendant hasn't told his story yet to anybody but his public defender. Maybe. So, we'll find out. Justin Hancock, yes. One of the greatest lines out of Unforgiven. You shot an unarmed man. He should have armed himself. Harvard Warble says, so he's going to get more than 5 hours, right? Probably a little more than 5 hours in prison. Jonathan saying, and he, you know, Tanner keeps on planning to fucking with people. Yeah. T King says, I would like to be on this jury. I won't be no excuses for me for missing this one. Yes. Jim is saying the video is really bad and he threatens him in the video. That's why the prosecutors are going to charge him. I didn't know the video had been released. I figured that was in evidence right now, but if it's out there, actually, hold on. Let's if it's out there, I'm actually interested if we can see it because I'd be really curious to see if we can watch it at all, but Collective Goons. Should have actually checked this before, but it's not up on their website. Well, actually, Collective Goons. It says Classified Goons. Is that the name? Because I don't see Collective Goons anywhere. I feel like a boomer. Fred is saying you can use deadly force to effect an arrest. there are times where the police can use force, but they don't automatically get to use deadly force just to effect an arrest. Okay. In addition, you don't want to step into that field as a citizen. You definitely don't want to do that. And I mean that with all sincerity. You should be staying away from the idea of arresting people. I truly, truly, truly mean that. But yeah, Jim, if you know where the video's at, let me know. So that's a shame for $4.99 saying, oh, not to change the topic, but there's interesting in the Delphi case, the documents are sealed, but Alan's attorneys are asking to release him for protective custody. Oh, I'll shoot you an email on that because I'm curious if there's enough updates to do a decent update on that. Thank you for that. Yes, your friend Mort says, yo, Jamie, pull that shit up. Oh, Jim is saying I saw a news report that said that. Okay. J-Rock, you're saying you're ECB 423. Yeah, I'll write that down, but yeah, maybe later I'll search you out, man. Barton Bell is saying, is the Black Rock building in Paris still occupied by protesters? Yes. Yes. If that is not hilarious enough, the communists in Paris right now are rioting, are trying to burn down the Black Rock building, which, love to see it. Also, J-Rock, I want to say thank you for the super chat. Found your website again. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate it. Let me see here. Okay, I will let me see here. All right, I'll look for that stuff. Hold on. Thank you, Brandon. Yeah, Nick's saying that's a channel. Yeah, it's called Classified Goons. There is no. Yeah, angry guy charges camera, clowns versus cops. Yeah, this is all older, so taking people's groceries prank. Yeah, and that's a problem with these guys. Like, they do retarded things, and they're like, oh, it's just a prank, bro. It's like they walked in, punch you in the face. Oh, it's just a prank. Well, you're stealing somebody's stuff. They might want to stomp a mud hole in your ass. Oh, it's just a prank. It's not. A lot of people don't think it's funny. There's this. I remember this used to be this TV show called like What Would You Do, and they staged a child abduction. And it's this like little white girl getting grabbed by a guy, and she's screaming like help, help, help. And these two black dudes start chasing after the guy, and they're about to beat him senseless. And the guy's screaming, "It's all for TV! It's all for TV! Stop! Stop! Stop!" And the cops have to come out and save his ass. Like, there's a reason why you don't try to stage crimes or antagonize people, because you don't know, they don't know who you are, and you don't know like how that's going to play out. So, yeah. Yes, Harvard Wall was right. It's a prank, bro. Yes. Philip Martin saying, would the guy still be in charge if he just punched Tanner Cook in the face? I mean, maybe, but it would have been more likely for the prosecutor to say, okay, look, Tanner was acting like an asshole and he got what he deserved. Go about your day. Certainly. And also, you'd be more likely to get a jury to agree, look, out of everything I could have done, I punched the guy. I mean, a jury's more likely to find that reasonable. They're going to find that far more reasonable than you putting a hole in the dude with your, pistol. So it's just something to think about there. So, I thought I heard the prank in this case was they were telling people they were sex offenders. Well, yeah, that would be a bad one. So, Petty saying, remember when the Cheaters host got stabbed? No, but that's another typical thing that happens. Stuff will happen to you. So, Alpha Fox saying there's a Scare Tactics is an episode where a dude armed with a 2x4 in real life. And the producers had to stop him from hurting somebody. Yeah, that's a thing. This is who we are saying. Follow the guy home and then shoot him. No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay. Trevor saying prosecutors charge everyone, especially innocent black men. They'll charge anything they can squeeze a guilty plea from. Sure, but in this case, this guy comes from out of town just to start screwing with people, causes some guy to react way overboard. I mean, they have the right to say, we're not tolerating you harassing people, even though somebody overreacted to you. This I think is entirely appropriate. Like, look, we're not tolerating your idea of a prank isn't a prank. It's not funny. You're jerking people around and causing problems. So that's kind of where we are with it. And that's well, like I said, updates when we see what happens. All right, and then the next thing. This I think is really where we get to kind of the reciprocal issues and the reciprocity of January 6th, what's going on with former President Trump now. There's going to be blowback. And that started. And it's starting in Tennessee. And how has it started? Well, in Tennessee, and in the aftermath of the shooting they had there, there have been, I'm sure it was all grassroots and it wasn't astroturfed, and they didn't convince these kids they could get out of school for, coming and screwing around. They've been in the state house and stormed into the state house. And then we're in the chambers of the deliberative bodies, chanting and screaming and refusing to go. You might call that an insurrection, maybe. And things were getting out of hand. And it got to the point where some of the representatives, 3 specifically, were causing problems. While these people were demanding gun control to happen, these representatives came up onto the floor of their house and with bullhorns were cheering on the protesters and disrupting the hearings and disrupting their ability to get stuff done. Well, Representative Justin Jones, a Democrat, got expelled by a vote of 72-25. Representative Gloria Johnson, a Democrat, was not expelled. She beat it by 1 vote. And then Representative Justin Pearson, another Democrat, was expelled by a vote of 69. All right. To 26. All right. Well, there is a bit of an issue there. Well, Justin Jones and Justin Pearson are both black men. And Gloria is a white woman. Okay. Well, all I can say is this is what you wanted. This is the result of this is what happens now. This is the fair game. As Ralph is famous for saying, everything's on the table now. Everything's fair game. Everything's fair game now. This is what you wanted. You wanted to go after people. You want to try to hold them accountable. People running their mouths. We need to kick these people out of Congress or punish them for January 6th. Fine. Anytime they encourage crap to happen, we're going to go after them. And there is video of what was going on in the legislator. There's a little bit here, and it's not the best, but it's a start as far as trying to watch it. So
this marked a historic
we can try to
day
see
that
along
turned
here.
into a historic night in Nashville. that continues unfolding at this hour, all centering on that deadly school shooting 1 week ago today in Nashville. A lone gunman killed 6 people, including 3 9-year-olds. And here is what you need to know tonight from our coverage. First, leading Republican.
Okay, so yes, here they are. Justin Pearson, Justin Jones, and Gloria Johnson.
Republican lawmakers filed resolutions to expel 3 Democrats. Representative Gloria Johnson of Knoxville is among. Turmoil rolled into the evening session with the speaker ordering vocal protesters out of the gallery, and Twitter video shown here showing the frustrations boiling over on the floor. A confrontation between Knox County Republican Justin Lafferty and Nashville Democrat Justin Jones. He recorded that moment on his phone. One of the largest protests in recent history.
So as you can see, it was really big and things were going on. And you know what, honestly? Oh well. Oh well, this is what you wanted. We warned you. You know, people like me pointed out, this is tit for tats only lead to the other side wanting to get their tat in. You don't get to punch somebody and then say, sorry, buddy, let's go back to decorum mode. No, you're going to get hit back. And probably harder. It's measure and countermeasure. This is why. Oh, Peter Spiney. They expelled the pool's closed, dude. Oh. Yes. Yes. But this is what happens. This is what happens. This is why it's not good. This is Pandora's box. Everybody's going after everybody for everything, and it doesn't stop. I mean, this is the crap you see in the third world. This is the crap you see in the places we think are, you know, shittier than America. That suck. But now we're here. Because everything's now on the table. So, it's not the best, but it is what it is right now. And I don't like it, but how can I tell people not to be how can I tell somebody, no, that's not a rational response, or don't fight back like that? You can't in good faith. Jay Bet is saying, was that a protest for true and shit? No, that was a protest for gun control. So you guys are hilarious. Dan Saturday says it's a sad state of affairs. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Zaven saying it's not the society we need, but it's the one we deserve. Yeah, totally it is. We deserve what we tolerate. So this is why you don't screw with things. Because this happens. And then really, is this too far? I don't know. Somebody's facing 130, Trump's facing 136 years in prison. So I would argue this really isn't there yet. There hasn't been a fair reciprocity. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't like it, but I mean, how can you get mad at people? J-Rock is saying, can I get 5 minutes on Afroman? Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, things right now with Afroman, things are kind of in a holding pattern. I mean, we can check him out. Let's see what the Adams County Court of Common Pleas says. See if he responded. There might be something to look up. Okay, Common Pleas Court, record search. Continue. Foreman. I am not a robot. Begin search. Oh, actually, wait. That's No domestic relations, no appeals, no judgment liens, civil only. I am not a robot again. I already checked. Case. Okay, docket entries. Here we go, docket entries. Oh my god. 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 This is real. Holy shit. This is real. Oh my god. Oh no. The internet. Oh, the gods smile up. The gods smile upon us, chat. Let me tell you. The gods smile upon us. I mean, here we go. Here we go. We're going to go to share screen, Adams County Clerk of Court. And we're going to go to case information here. It is Sean Cooley versus Joseph Edgar Foreman. All right. Docket entries. Bam. Record search. A conference hearing is being held on 4/20/23 at 8:30 a.m. I mean, you can't make this up, folks. You can't make this up. It's all over the phone, though. It's not going to be in person, so don't show up to West Union, Ohio. It's all over the phone. But oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. That is just the meme magic. It is real. I don't know if you don't believe in it. I don't know what to tell you, but it is real. It is so real. Oh god. Yes, Mr. Bigfoot over on Rumble's right. We live in a simulation. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's just Sullivan says, how high is Afroman gonna be? Oh my god. Oh, yes. And the amateur iconoclast is right. Yes, it's also De Fuhrer's birthday. Yes. Yes. Florence Dono says, yes, instant default. Fate has sided with Afroman. Diamonds and Head is saying, is that real? That is 100% real. That is on the that's on the court of clerk of courts for Adams County, Ohio. That's where this all happens at. Yep, 100% real. Oh my gosh. Patty says, yes, they're celebrating Uncle Adolf's birthday. Horrible Warble says, I'm trying to watch this in the Jack Show at the same time. I appreciate you trying. Okay. Yes, this is just, oh. Yes, the judge probably doesn't even realize. That's a shame saying that conflicts with a marijuana CLE you have on the same date. Okay, that's funny, but that's good. Carrie Matchett says, yes, synchronicity. Barton Bella says, yes, it's also Columbine's anniversary as well. Jim is saying, going back to the Tennessee stuff, yeah, they expelled one of the guys from the legislator a while back. Yeah, he had been very assaultive and combative. Yes, those guys this was just another excuse. They got what they deserved. But once again, it's just, this is the punch and counter punch. Yes. Common Lawyer says, sometimes the law gives you a gift. Yes. Oh, Jay Bet saying, I was hoping there was going to be a pick. Well, I mean, I had the docket, so. Justin Hancock says 8:30 a.m. Yeah, I hate 8 o'clock, and I hate going to court before 9. That just sucks. It's a phone pretrial. They're probably not going. It's probably going to be no more than 15 minutes. Just because the case really has started, parties are intervening. Some of the entities listed by the plaintiffs are going to get included. The bitch baby boy sheriff's deputies from Adams County, those little bitches who cried because they got made fun of for executing a bullshit warrant. That's right. I called you a bunch of little bitches. Sue me, pound cake. You know where to find me. Yeah. Fred is saying, are the phone conferences open to the public? No, not. I mean, typically no. It's, one party generally calls the other party. Plaintiff calls the defendant, and then they patch the judge in. Usually is how they do it. So they'll probably set like motion dates and just some tentative deadlines that'll probably get pushed around a little bit. So what do you guys? Oh my gosh. Yes. I know it's Hitler's birthday on 4/20 as well, guys. Yes, I get it. Can we watch the song? Yeah, I get. Let's. I'm hoping Afroman don't strike me. Will you help me repair my door? I'm hoping he lets this go. We'll try it. Yes, because hiding on top of the couch will protect you from the bad guy you think is hiding behind the couch.
Will you help me repair my gate? Will you help me repair my door? Did you find what you was looking for? Will you help me repair my gate? And
I love how he's covering the front gate like it's like they're attacking Waco. Yes. Look at the bravery all around from these guys.
door. Would you like a slice of lemon pound cake? You can take as much as you want to take. There must be a big mistake. Would you like to have a slice of my lemon pound cake?
This is Officer Poundcake, by the way. Real quick. Yes, his wife and kids were at home during this raid. He was not, though. Oh, he said Afroman made it public use. Hell yeah, then we'll do the whole thing. Alpha Fox says 420 is also National High Five Day. And Marms for $5 says, watch your language, Sean. The kid can hear you. Don't at me or my wife's son ever again. Thank you for the super chat. But let's listen to the rest of the song, and we'll play this as we'll play me out on this.
The warrant said narcotics and kidnapping. The warrant said narcotics and kidnapping. Are you kidding? I make my money rapping. Why does the warrant say narcotics? Well, I know narcotics, but why kidnapping?
Like, I love that. He's like, why does it say narcotics? Well, wait, I know why.
Let me ask you something, officer. Any kidnapping victims inside my seat pockets? Are there any kidnapping victims inside my suit pockets? You crooked cops need to stop it. There are no kidnapping victims in my suit pockets. Let me ask you another question. Is there 1,000 pounds of weed in my suit pockets? Is there 1,000 pounds of weed in my suit pockets? You crooked cops need to stop it. There's not 1,000,000 pounds of weed in my suit pockets. Let me ask you something else. Any kidnapping victims inside my CDs? Any kidnapping victims inside my CDs? The Adams County Sheriff Department, you can get these. There are no kidnapping victims in my CDs. How many pounds of weed are inside my CDs? How many pounds of weed are inside my CDs? Adams County Sheriff, you can get these. How many pounds of weed did you find in my CDs? Why are you stealing my money? Why are you stealing my money?
Yeah, why are we shoving it in our pockets? Why do you think that money is illegal? They never established it. They just, oh, it's cash. You can't account for it. That's more that civil asset forfeiture bullshit cops do.
You represent the law, and it's funny. You're stealing my legal work hard every day. Pay taxes, money. The sheriff disconnected my cameras. The sheriff disconnected my cameras.
Tampering with evidence. I'd love to put that bitch on the stand. Why are you disabling cameras? Or for our safety. That's why you guys got guns. You don't want to see what you're doing.
The sheriff should be locked up in slammers. The Adams County Sheriff Department disconnected my cameras. Did you have to traumatize my kids? Did you have to traumatize my kids? Did you have to traumatize my kids? Did you have to traumatize my kids?
Look at that beautiful room clearing job also. God, those guys are going to save your kids from the next school shooter.
You pay me for doing me wrong. Will you pay me for doing me wrong? Will you pay me for doing me wrong? Or will I have to get paid from this song? How you think they gonna buy this, man?
Okay, so yep, there we go. Yes, he is being sued by the cops because they don't like the fact he called them out for being a bunch of corrupt jackbooted fucks. So they feel like that hurt their personas of being pillars of the community who abuse the Constitution. So yes, they're suing him, and I hope he sues them back and countersues, and Hope he gets a 1983 action. They lose qualified immunity, and he takes every goddamn dime he can take from these people. I hope he fucks them with the gnarled cock of the law so damn hard. You know, examples should be made out of them. You know, to quote the great Pinhead, their suffering should be legendary even in hell. So I think they found a little bit, but they found nothing that matched what they were looking for. They were looking for felony stuff. They didn't find it. So, yes, they're crying about the footage he released of public officials doing their jobs that he recorded on his own property. So, that they recorded themselves. So, yeah. Hunch says he should run for sheriff. You have to, in Ohio, to run for sheriff, you have to have some law enforcement education and training. You can't just run. That's by state law. So he could, in a couple of years, he could try it. Saying Nick's Zoom hearing against Monty is Monday. Yes. And like I mentioned last week, just because, like I said, my name is in the complaint, I don't really think I can cover it or really talk about it at this point. Obviously, I hope Nick wins, but that's, you know, I think probably goes without saying. So he should run for county judge. There are restrictions on being able to run for judge in Ohio. Actually, I think is it 10 years? I think it's 10 years. Yeah, I think it's 10 years. Oh, actually, no, it's just 6 years. 6 years of experience in the practice of law. So he can't. We don't let our magistrate restrictions. Yes, you have to have a law degree to be a magistrate. We're not like in the South where you can appoint random people to be magistrates. You have to be an attorney. So Carrie saying Ohio's weird. There are states in America where you can appoint random people to be magistrate. That's scary. Because then you get just random people approving warrants. That's not, I don't like that. So 6 years, so when will there be Judge Sean? I have to find a county that wants to put me on the ballot first. So, all right, guys. Well, that is it for me tonight. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy your Easter. Enjoy your weekend here. That's really it for me. If you guys have questions, comments, put them down below. Shoot me an email. All that fun stuff. I might be on tomorrow night, and then for the rest of the weekend, probably not. Just because it is Easter. I think I've got some plans for the holiday. But I'm not in charge of that, so I'll have to find out. And I will say, once again, until next time, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Good night, everybody. If you guys want to join me over on Locals at potentiallycriminal.locals.com, we'll be doing a live show for a couple minutes, just hanging out and going over some stuff and all the fun things. So see you guys there.